Undisputed super middleweight champion Canelo Alvarez has made it clear he is not overlooking IBF title holder William Scull ahead of their May 3rd showdown in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Despite growing anticipation for a potential mega fight against Terence Crawford in September, Alvarez insists he is 100% focused on the undefeated Cuban challenger Scull. While Alvarez remains committed to the task at hand, fans and media continue to shift their attention toward Crawford, questioning whether Scull is a compelling opponent for the Mexican superstar. Many see the little-known Cuban in the same light as Alvarez's last opponent, Edgar Berlanga, whose main asset was his physical size rather than elite-level skill. Critics argue that Scull does little to build momentum for a Canelo-Crawford showdown. Names like Osleys Iglesias, Diego Pacheco, Janibek Alimkhanuly, or Christian Mbili would have been stronger opposition to generate excitement. Even Jake Paul, known more for his celebrity status than boxing accolades, might have drawn greater interest, though some believe his presence could overshadow a future bout between Canelo and Crawford. One of the main concerns surrounding the Canelo-Crawford fight is Crawford's marketability. While the former undisputed welterweight champion is widely respected within boxing circles, he lacks mainstream crossover appeal, particularly among casual fans. Meanwhile, the undercard for Canelo Scull is still taking shape. So far, the only confirmed bout features heavyweights Martin Bakole and Efe Ajagba. Event organizers, including Turki Al-Sheikh, are expected to add more high-profile matchups to boost interest in the pay-per-view event, as Alvarez's fight against Scull alone may not be enough to drive strong sales.
You know, after May, we don't freeze is May, no, and I don't see other fight there. So I'm focused 100% on William Scull because he's a good fighter. He's champion for a reason, and I need to beat him first to see other fights, right? My focus is on him 100%, and then we see.
Jose Rayo Valenzuela entered his WBA light welterweight title defense against Gary Antuanne Russell without a rematch clause, according to his trainer Robert Garcia. The fight, which took place last Saturday night at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York, ended in a dominant 12-round unanimous decision win for Russell. Valenzuela suffered a one-sided defeat, with the judges scoring the bout 119-109, 119-109, and 120-108. Garcia revealed that Rayo had been informed he could not include a rematch clause for the voluntary defense, leaving him with no choice but to accept the fight under those terms.
When Rayo got that fight, we did tell him, why that fight, Rayo? Why, the Russells have always been great fighters, man. An Olympian, all wins by knockout. Could have been somebody else. And they told me it's him or nobody else. He said they forced him to fight him, and then he says they didn't even let me get a rematch clause. You're the champion. It's your voluntary title defense. He should have been allowed to get a rematch clause. Everybody does. Pitbull had a rematch clause. What's the name? Gallo Estrada had a rematch clause. Pitbull didn't want to do it. Rayo didn't want to do it. Gallo Estrada didn't want to do it. So that's their decision.
Yeah.
But I don't. With Rayo, he told us. They told me I'm not allowed to get a rematch clause. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I really can't say much. He signed the contract, so there's nothing we could do now. He signed the contract.
According to Garcia, Valenzuela was told that facing Russell was his only option, with no alternative fights available. Garcia suggested that unless the financial offer was extraordinary, Valenzuela might have been better off declining the bout. Valenzuela, who had previously showcased effective movement in victories over Isaac Pitbull Cruz and Chris Colby, struggled to replicate that success against Russell. However, given Russell's ability to cut off the ring, counter effectively, and control the fight from the outside, it remains unclear whether increased mobility would have changed the outcome.